The moment the cameras panned away, everything exploded. Rumors have been swirling, but now whispers of betrayal have reached a fever pitch. Ty's husband allegedly caught in a steamy rendezvous with Evelyn while Chantel watched in stunned silence. Fans are shocked to learn this explosive secret may have been unfolding right under Jackie's nose, threatening to tear her world apart. Emotions ran high as insiders claim Evelyn slipped away from a cast event, lured by late-night DMs, only to find herself face-to-face with Ty's spouse behind closed doors. Sources close to the scene insist Chantel stumbled upon the heart-stopping encounter and froze, powerless to intervene. Social media erupted as rumors ignited a wildfire of speculation. Did Evelyn betray Jackie's trust? Did Ty's husband risk everything for a forbidden thrill? And most importantly, what will Jackie do when this scandalous footage inevitably surfaces? The family was left divided, alliances shattered, loyalties tested as fans debated who was to blame. In this exclusive breakdown, we'll sift through the chaos, examine alleged text message leaks, and hear from onlookers whose hearts raced as they witnessed the drama unfold. Prepare yourself because Jackie's show may never recover from this implosion. Ty sank into the plush sofa, her fingers trembling around the edge of her drink as she replayed every moment of the night. The reunion party had started, innocently enough, with laughter and champagne, until whispers began circulating about Evelyn slipping away from the group chat. Fans are shocked to learn that behind the velvet ropes, the choreography of smiles and staged toasts hid a secret more explosive than any on-camera fight. Ty's chest tightened as she remembered the way Evelyn's eyes flickered with guilty anticipation. It's the same look her husband's coworker had described in hushed tones the next morning. Derek, Ty's husband, had always been the picture of devotion on screen, a doting partner, standing loyally by his wife as she navigated the drama of Jackie's show. Yet, when the cameras dimmed and the crew retreated, a different script seemed to emerge. "I didn't mean for it to happen." His voice had slurred through a late-night text to a friend, according to an insider. "It just did." That message, so casually sent at 2 a.m., became the ignition for a wildfire of suspicion. Emotions ran high as the friends shared screenshots. And soon those screenshots were splashed across private group chats. Chantel, who prided herself on staying above the fray, found herself pulled in by sheer force of circumstance. "I thought I was doing the right thing," she confessed to a close friend, her voice trembling. "I saw them. I froze," chanting her own name in disbelief. Chantel described how she'd cornered herself in the hallway outside a VIP suite after hearing muffled voices. She peeked through the crack of the door and caught sight of her brother-in-law's silhouette, entwined with Evelyn's curves. The betrayal cut deeper than she could have imagined. Her breath caught and she backed away, her heart hammering so loud she feared it might alert them. Inside that suite, Evelyn had reclined on the edge of a chaise lounge, her signature smirk replaced by genuine vulnerability. "You don't know what you do to me," Derek had whispered, his hand brushing a strand of hair from her face. Then he leaned in, and everything shifted. The memory returned to Ty in a flash, a stray photo on social media showing Derek's phone resting beside Evelyn's clutch, the screen aglow with a flirty text not meant for Ty's eyes. The moment he saw it, Ty felt a cold wave of realization crash over her. The family was left divided in that second, loyalties tested and trust shattered. As dawn broke, Chantel wrestled with her conscience. Keeping quiet felt like complicit betrayal, but speaking up risked unleashing a scandal that would consume every member of their tight-knit circle. She paced the hotel suite, running a trembling hand through her hair. Her phone buzzed with notifications. Gossip blogs, disgruntled extras, even a few loyal fans demanding answers. "The rumors won't die," one message read. Chantal stared at the screen, guilt and fear colliding in her chest. Meanwhile, Derek, woke, confused, the fog of the night before clouding his memory. He reached for his phone and froze when he saw the messages from Evelyn's number. "Thank you for last night." Panic washed over him. How many people knew? The thought ate at him as he scrolled through the replies. One insider had already leaked to a tabloid that security footage showed Derek slipping into the suite at 1:17 a.m. Emotions ran high as the realization sank in that there was no undoing what happened. Backstage, Evelyn rehearsed her lines for the next day's shoot, but her usual confidence had cracked. She stared at her reflection, tracing the outline of her lips where Derek's had pressed. "This is going to destroy everything," she murmured, voice barely audible over the hum of makeup brushes and chatter. Fans are shocked to hear Evelyn struggling with remorse, a side of her rarely seen on camera. She tapped her phone, drafting apologies she might never send. The internal conflict twisted her stomach into knots. The thrill of forbidden attraction clashed with guilt for betraying Jackie, a friend and employer, on the other side of the lot. Jackie prepared to film a scene as if nothing was wrong. Her laughter echoed across the yard as she bantered with producers, but in her eyes lay a flicker of unease. Sources claim she sensed the tension rising, like an electrical current humming beneath the surface. "I feel something's off," she confided to a camera operator. "You ever get that feeling right before something big breaks?" Her question hung in the air, an ominous foreshadowing of the implosion that awaited her show. In living rooms across the country, die-hard viewers watched morning recaps and dissected every frame. They pored over promotional teasers, searching for clues, a hesitation in Ty's smile, a glance Derek wouldn't meet, a fleeting sadness in Evelyn's gaze. Theories flew. Was Evelyn playing a long con? Did Derek stumble into temptation? Or was he hunting for excitement to escape marital monotony? Each theory added fuel to a fandom fire that refused to be quelled. As the day wore on, Chantel made a decision. She drafted a concise message, her fingers hovering over the send button. "You need to know what I saw." She stared at Derek's name, heart pounding so fiercely it felt poised to burst. With a deep breath, she pressed send. At that exact moment, Evelyn's phone lit up with an incoming call from a gossip site threatening to go public. The two threads, Chantel's confession and the tabloid's threat, pulled tighter, creating a pressure cooker ready to explode. Despite the chaos swirling around them, the cast convened for a midday recap rehearsal. Jackie marched in, clipboard in hand, and demanded focus. "We've got scenes to shoot," she said, voice firm. Yet as she directed the crew, her gaze flickered toward Ty, who sat silent, latte untouched. The weight of unspoken truths pressed between them like a physical barrier. Chantel lingered at the edge of the room, torn between loyalty to her sister and duty to the truth. And Derek, caught between fear and hope, stood silently by the craft table. Watching the storm, he helped ignite just as the director called action on a pivotal confrontation scene. A producer burst into the room, whispering urgently into Jackie's ear, her eyes widened, lips parting in shock. The whispers that had haunted the set all morning had found her. A hush fell over the crew. The cameras continued to roll, oblivious to the real-life drama colliding with scripted lines. At that moment, every onlooker knew Jackie's carefully constructed kingdom teetered on the brink of collapse. And in that charged silence, with hearts pounding and loyalties shifting, the true reckoning was only a heartbeat away. Hearts still. Racing Jackie's eyes darted among her cast as the producer's urgent whisper echoed in her mind. She steadied herself, voice controlled but brittle. "What is it?" she asked, every syllable a whispered command. The producer held up his phone, screen glowing with a headline from a notorious gossip blog. Exclusive: Chantel's confession and Evelyn's leaked. Footage threatened to bring Derek's betrayal into the spotlight. Jackie's breath caught. The words seemed to burn across her vision. Chantel, standing near the back, felt every pair of eyes slice through her. She clenched her fists, fighting the urge to flee. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, she mouthed, but the silence swallowed her apology. On cue, a crew member approached with a tablet asking for Chantel's availability to shoot a confessional. Chantel met the crew member's gaze with a steely calm. I'm available now, she said, voice steady, though her heart pounded like thunder. As Chantal settled before the camera, the lights blazed down, turning her nerves into raw energy. I've always tried to protect my family, she began, eyes glistening. But last night I saw something I can't ignore. She paused, swallowing hard. I saw my brother-in-law and Evelyn together, and I knew it was wrong. I knew I had to tell Ty, even though it could ruin everything. Her confession hung in the air, the crew's whispers amplifying the tension. Meanwhile, Derek hovered near the catering table, searching for any friendly face. Instead, he found Evelyn, who sat across from him, gaze fixed on her untouched sandwich. The air between them was thick with unspoken guilt. Derek cleared his throat. Evelyn, he said quietly. She looked up, eyes red-rimmed. Can't keep avoiding this, she replied. It's worse if we pretend it didn't happen. It didn't. What do you want me to do? He asked, voice low. She hesitated, then slid a small flash drive across the table. This has everything, she said. Security footage, text messages, photos. It's proof. He picked it up, fingers trembling. If this gets out? He trailed off, fear flickering across his features. Evelyn's expression hardened. It already is out, Derek. It's only a matter of time before someone posts it. We need to control the narrative. Back in the confessional room, Chantel's words reached viewers' screens and social feeds exploded. Fans are shocked as buzz algorithms push the story to trending status within minutes. Some defended Ty, insisting she deserved better. Others criticized Evelyn for betrayal. Debate raged. Was Chantal a whistleblower or a drama seeker? The family was left divided online, strangers taking sides in a personal catastrophe. On set, Jackie's composure cracked. She gathered her cast and crew for an impromptu meeting. I know you've heard the rumors, she began, voice wavering. We have a show to film, but I won't let lies destroy our work. Ty stepped forward, eyes fixed on Jackie. Need answers? She said quietly. I need the truth from everyone here. The room fell silent. Derek shuffled on his feet. A Ty, please. He started, but Ty cut him off. No platitudes. I saw the texts. I heard the messages. You owe me honesty. Tay frowned. Paparazzi flashes practically echoing in her mind. Derek glanced at Evelyn, then back at Ty. I can't justify what happened, he confessed. Voice cracking. It was a mistake, but it meant something, and now, don't know how to fix it. Evelyn rose, footsteps echoing. Jackie, I'm sorry, she said, turning to her friend. Tears welled in her eyes. I never wanted to hurt you. I was lonely, and he was there. But that doesn't excuse what I did. Jackie's stare was ice. You betrayed me, she whispered. You betrayed my family. In that charged moment, the crew dared not breathe. The unfiltered drama outshone any staged confrontation the producers had scripted. Chants of cut from the director were swallowed by the raw emotion crackling between the women. Outside, Chantal's phone buzzed relentlessly. Screenshots of her confession were already circulating on social media. A DM from a tabloid editor offered her payment for an exclusive interview. She stared at the message, torn between protecting her family's dignity and shielding them from further harm. Under pressure, she typed a reply, "Call me." Meanwhile, Derek and Evelyn retreated. To a secluded corner backstage, he held the flash drive like a lifeline. We need to delete everything, he argued. We can stage it as a technical error. Evelyn shook her head. They'll know we had it. And even if they believe the deletion story, the rumor mill is working overtime. We have to come clean. We need to spin the narrative before someone else writes it for us. The producer, who had first delivered the gossip blog alert, reappeared, offering to arrange a controlled leak. It as a press exclusive, he suggested. If you both give a joint statement, express regret, show unity, they'll kill the wild rumors. Derek looked at Evelyn, whose eyes glistened with uncertainty. What do we have to lose? He murmured. Inside the main shooting area, Jackie and Ty huddled together, wings of secrecy shielding them from prying ears. Ty laid out Chantel's confession and the gossip headline. We have to decide how to handle this, she said, voice urgent. Jackie clenched her jaw. We can't ignore it, she agreed. But we can't implode live on camera. We need a plan. As the afternoon sun dipped low, the cast reconvened for a staged dinner party, ironically mirroring the real betrayal that hung in the air. Napkins folded into swans, crystal glasses glinting. The set resembled an oasis of calm. Yet beneath the surface, every smile was painted on. Every cheery toast a mask for the storm raging inside. Chance of action signaled cameras rolling. But the dialogue felt hollow. Ty delivered her lines with a tremor, her eyes betraying the turmoil within. Derek forced a laugh, sweat beading at his hairline. Evelyn's gaze flickered toward Chantel, whose glances carried both accusation and apology. Jackie, performing her role as gracious hostess, fought to keep her expression neutral, hands trembling behind her back. The director barked instructions, oblivious to the subtext of betrayal threading through each word. Move closer, Ty. Derek, react to her line. The actors followed like marionettes, words scripted but emotions raw. It was the most authentic performance of their careers, a tragic irony not lost on the onlooking. Crew. Just as the scene reached its climax, a choreographed toast to honesty and unity, a stray notification pinged on Jackie's phone, its tone audible on set. She glanced down, breaking. Chantel considers going public with full details. Colored heads snapped toward her. The director hesitated, then shouted, We'll pick up from there tomorrow. Cameras finally cut, and the set exploded into a frenzy of whispers and hurried steps. In that moment, every cast member knew the next 24 hours would define their careers, the relationships, and the future of Jackie's show. The fallout had only just begun. And the real story, far more consequential than any scripted drama, was waiting in the wings. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the lot emptied into a hive of gossip and restless energy. Crew members clustered in corners, phones whispering news alerts, while cast lingered, clutching coffee cups like lifelines. Chantel stood alone under a flickering street lamp, scrolling through her notifications. Every headline felt like a knife twisting deeper knot, just at Derek and Evelyn, but at her own conscience. I never wanted to betray anyone, she murmured, voice soft enough that only the wind heard. Her phone buzzed again, an invitation to appear on a popular morning show. The offer dangled like a temptation she wasn't sure she could resist. Meanwhile, Ty retreated to her trailer, pacing in circles around a small folding table. On it lay Chantel's confessional clip, already edited and set to go live by a rogue assistant. Ty pressed her palms to her temples, trying to still the pounding in her skull. Her reflection in the mirror looked back, wide-eyed and vulnerable, far removed from the composed image she'd cultivated for fans. How did it get this bad? She whispered to her own reflection, the weight of public scrutiny pressed on her chest like an iron. Derek found himself wandering toward the empty soundstage, the flash drive heavy in his pocket. He paused at the threshold and inhaled the stale scent of studio lights and recycled air. Every footstep echoed, reminding him of the trail he'd left behind. He clicked off his phone's display to hide the torrent of messages, an urgent request from the producer to meet in private, an angry voicemail from Jackie, and dozens of speculative texts from fans demanding explanations. Each chime seemed to undermine him further, as if the very air conspired to expose his secrets. Back in the catering tent, Evelyn slumped over a tray of cold sandwiches, Her appetite vanished. She replayed the night's embrace with Derek, trying to rationalize it as something more than a mistake. But guilt clawed at her insides, sharpened by the knowledge that she'd betrayed a friend who had supported her career. "What am I going to do?" she asked no one. A nearby hairstylist glanced over and offered a sympathetic nod. Evelyn forced a weak smile. Tracing the outline of her phone's cracked screen where Jackie's contact name glowed in urgent red dot outside. A paparazzi. Drone hummed overhead, its circling lens hungry for a perfect shot. Fans are shocked to learn how relentless the scrutiny became every step. Every glance, every sigh captured as evidence in an unscripted trial. Ty's driver waited curbside, engine idling while tabloid vans lined up like vultures. Climbed. In refusing to look back, even as a flurry of camera flashes painted the night with harsh, accusatory light. Later that evening, Jackie arrived at a high-profile industry party, determined to salvage her reputation. She moved through the crowd like a queen under siege, nodding politely while her mind raced with damage control strategies. Whispers trailed her. "Did you hear about Chantel? Is Derek really involved? What will Jackie do now?" She raised a champagne flute in mock celebration, but every toast felt like a betrayal of her own integrity. Her usually commanding presence felt frayed at the edges as she navigated the sea of half-dashed truths across the city. A private investigator commissioned by a network executive reviewed security footage from the studio. The grainy clips showed Derek entering and exiting the suite at odd hours. He zoomed in on Evelyn's earring, matching it to the one she wore during a promotional shoot. Fans are shocked to discover these side-by-side comparisons circulating on secret forums, fueling speculation that no detail escaped prying eyes. The investigator downloaded the files onto a secure server, evidence that could ruin more than one career. Back on set the next morning, Jackie called an emergency meeting. The cast gathered under the glare of overhead lights, staring at one another as if each face held a fragment of. Derek entered next, shoulders square but gaze haunted. He cleared his throat. "I accept responsibility for my actions," he announced, voice steady despite the tremor beneath. "And I want to make things right." Gasps rippled through the room. Evelyn stood beside him, courage threading through her apology. "Jackie, I am so sorry," she whispered, voice trembling. "I was selfish, and I hope one day you can forgive me." The family was left divided still, but for a fleeting moment. The air felt charged with possibility rather than shame. The producer nudged the director, signaling to roll hidden cameras. The group hesitated, knowing every word and gesture would be immortalized, dissected by fans and critics alike. As the cameras clicked to life, Jackie exhaled, steeling herself. "We're going to address this head-on," she declared. "No more secrets." In living rooms across the nation, viewers tuned in live, hearts pounding in unison. Fans are shocked as the network billed the confrontation as an exclusive first look at the fallout. Social media lit up with hashtags demanding accountability and pledging loyalty. Some viewers praised Jackie's bravery. Others lambasted Chantel for betraying family. A faction defended Derek and blamed Evelyn's temptation. The digital conversation became a battleground of opinions, each fan wielding their phone like a weapon. Amid the chaos, Chantal slipped away to call the morning show producer. "I'll do the interview," she said, voice firm. "But only if Ty and Jackie agree." The producer paused, surprised by her terms. "Negotiations," he murmured, and the line clicked dead. Chantal stared at her reflection in the gleaming studio window, steeling herself for the storm ahead. Hours later, Ty found herself alone in the editing suite, watching Chantel's confessional back-to-back with Jackie's live apology. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she realized the depth of the fractures opening in her family. She pressed pause and closed her eyes, whispering a plea. "Let us heal." But as the network prepared to air teasers for tomorrow's episode, promising More shocking revelations and unfiltered raw emotion. It became clear that healing might have to wait. The cameras were rolling, the world was watching. And the next twist in this implosion was already taking shape. Poised to strike when least expected. The night air buzzed with anticipation as the final cameras prepared to capture the next twist. Network teasers had promised more shocking revelations. And everyone on set felt the weight of expectation like a physical presence. Ty sat at the edge of the makeup chair, palette untouched, eyes fixed on the flickering monitors. She could almost taste the adrenaline in her mouth. Fans are shocked by the way this whole saga unfolded live, turning a scripted reality show into an unscripted minefield. Chantel hovered nearby, clutching her phone as if it were a lifeline. She had declined further morning show offers, insisting on standing by her family's side. "I don't want to capitalize on their pain," she told a producer, voice soft but resolute. The producer nodded, though his eyes betrayed relief. He needed content to keep viewers glued to their screens. Emotions ran high as Chantal swiped through messages of support and scorn in equal measure. On the opposite side of the studio, Derek paced under the harsh light of a corridor fixture. He replayed Evelyn's flash drive footage in his mind, the timestamp burning like a scar. He craved redemption, but with every step he took, the truth threatened to slip through his grasp. "We need to own up," he muttered to himself. "Anything less is cowardice." The family was left divided over whether honesty would heal or destroy them. Evelyn drifted in and out of sight, wrapped in a velvet robe that did nothing to muffle her shaking. Producers whispered that they might include her confession clip as part of a special Untold Moments montage. She shivered at the thought. It was one thing to apologize on camera, another to have every tear magnified and replayed. She locked eyes with Chantal across the green room. In that instant, regret and solidarity collided. Jackie waited alone on the soundstage, gazing at the grand dining table set for a staged reunion dinner. The empty chairs seemed to mock her, reminding her that trust could be as fragile as glass. She inhaled a shaky breath and whispered into the void, "I'll rebuild, even if I have to pick up the pieces, one shard at a time." A nearby gaffer handed her a script for the dinner scene, but she dropped it, fingers brushing the printed words without conviction. Just then, a hush fell over the lot as a tech assistant hurried in, laptop in hand. "You need to see this," she said, urgency threading her tone. She slid the device across to Jackie, who tapped the trackpad. A grainy clip played, security footage from a corridor camera, showing Ty and Chantal in a heated whisper the night of the reunion party. Their words were muffled, but their body language spoke volumes. Fans are shocked to discover that Chantel might have discussed the hookup with Ty before the confessional, fueling speculation of a deeper plan. Chai went cold in Ty's cup as she watched the footage on her own monitor. "Why didn't I see this before?" she gasped. Tears pooled in Chantel's eyes as she watched herself, realizing every moment of hesitation. Every exchange of glances was now public record. She pressed her palms against the screen, willing the scene to vanish. "I thought I was protecting you," she whispered. Derek and Evelyn joined them, drawn by the commotion. Derek's voice cracked. "What's this?" Evelyn shook her head, heart pounding. "It's a clip from the hallway camera," she said. "It shows us maybe more than we wanted." Jackie's jaw clenched as she watched the replay. Its betrayal, it seemed, had layers none of them anticipated. In the control room, editors scrambled to integrate the new footage into the live stream. Producers grinned. The ratings spike from an unexpected twist was every network exec's dream. Roll it, came the directive. The footage appeared on screens worldwide, thousands of fans tweeting in real time, dissecting every glance and gesture. The family was left divided once more as theories exploded across social media. Was Chantal manipulating Ty? Was Derek a victim of circumstance or a scheming opportunist? On set, the cast reconvened for the dinner scene, but the table felt like a stage 4 confessions rather than scripted banter. Ty stared at Jackie, tears smudging her eyeliner. "I had no idea," she said, voice trembling. "I never wanted. You two think I was in on a conspiracy." Jackie's expression softened for a moment, then hardened. "We'll get through this," she replied, tone firm. "But first, I need the truth from everyone here." Derek rose, hands clasped. "Never planned to betray you," he began, eyes on Ty. "But when Evelyn and I got close, I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. It scared me, but it doesn't excuse what happened." His words hung in the air, raw and unfiltered. The crew dared not cut their cameras, captured every flicker of emotion. Evelyn swallowed and spoke next. Voice barely audible. "I never meant to ruin this family," she said. "But I couldn't ignore how he made me feel. It was wrong, and I'll carry that guilt forever." She looked to Jackie, who stood stoic, chest rising and falling with controlled breaths. Chantel stepped forward, shoulders squared, despite her tears. "I thought coming forward was the right thing to do. I wanted to save my sister from humiliation, but now I see the fallout is worse than the secret." She turned to Ty. "I'm sorry I dragged you into this mess." Ty took a trembling step and embraced Chantal, drawing her into a hug that spoke of forgiveness and fear intertwined. Jackie watched them, heart aching. "This isn't how I envisioned our reunion," she admitted. "But maybe this brokenness can bring us closer if we let it." A hush fell, powerful enough to drown out the whir of cameras. For a brief moment, the cast was united by vulnerability. Rather than performance, then the director called for action on the dinner scene. The cast gathered around the table, voices low as they recited their lines, each syllable infused with the weight of their recent revelations. The cameras rolled, capturing both the scripted toasts and the unscripted tears. Fans are shocked too. See reality bleed into fiction, blurring the line between performance and truth. As the scene concluded, silence stretched across the soundstage. The lights dimmed, and crew members whispered congratulations on a truly unforgettable take. Jackie stared at the empty seats, imagining new possibilities for her show stories rooted in authenticity rather than artifice. She exhaled slowly, surprise and hope mingling in her chest. In living rooms and online forums, viewers debated whether the show would survive this scandal or thrive on its newfound authenticity. Some vowed never to watch again. Others declared loyalty, eager for each unpredictable turn. The family was left divided. But the collective drama had drawn them and the audience into a deeper connection than any polished reunion ever could. As the final light blinked off on set, Ty, after witnessing Ty's world shatter, Chantal's agonizing choice, Derek's raw confession, Evelyn's tearful apology, and Jackie's fierce determination, one thing is clear: this saga is far from over. The tangled web of secrets and lies has left the family divided, and fans are shocked by every twist and turn. With security footage revealing whispered conversations, leaked flash drives exposing hidden moments, and confessions captured on live cameras, trust has been shattered, and reputations hang in the balance. Emotions ran high as each character faced the fallout of their actions, forcing them to confront painful truths they never intended to share. But what happens next? Will Ty find the strength to rebuild her life and career after such a devastating betrayal? Can Chantel's decision to speak out heal wounds or deepen the rift between sisters? Will Derek and Evelyn's plea for forgiveness be enough to mend the bonds they broke? And can Jackie salvage her show while navigating the very real drama that now overshadows her production? The unanswered questions loom large, creating suspense that keeps you guessing until the final frame. If you've been on the edge of your seat through every confession, every silent glance, and every heart-wrenching apology, let us know your thoughts. Do you believe honesty will ultimately bring this family back together? Or is the damage too deep to repair? What would you do if you were in Ty's shoes? Share your opinions below and join the conversation. Don't forget to like this video if you're craving more explosive reality drama. Subscribe for exclusive behind-the-scenes breakdowns and hit the notification bell so you never miss a shocking moment. Your voice matters. Tell us what you think, and let's uncover the next chapter of this unforgettable implosion together.